You can now get a 30-day trial to experience The Athletic for free. Visit the link in the description below to try it now. Mohamed Salah is one of the world's most popular and recognisable footballers. An Egyptian icon, Salah has a claim to be the best player in the world on current form. He's arguably the first African since George Weah in 1995 to stake such a claim, although unlike Weah, who won the Ballon d'Or that year, Salah has so far failed to take the men's game's biggest individual honour. But Salah is a two-time African Player of the Year, as well as winning the Premier League, Champions League and twice taking the Premier League's Golden Boot, while the 2017-18 season saw him win the PFA Players and Fans Player of the Year trophies. Salah was born in Basel, a city in northern Egypt. From a young age, he was deeply committed to football, telling Liverpool's official site, "I'd originally been playing for a club that was half an hour away from my village in Basel. Then I signed for a club in Tanta, which was 1.5 hours away. From there, I went to Arab contractors in Cairo, so it was a 4 to 4.5 hour journey 5 days a week to get to training." His contract with Arab contractors, also known as Al Mokwaloun Al Arab Sporting Club, was his first as a professional. But aged just 14, he had to get special dispensation from his school to miss most of his lessons. He debuted in Egypt's top flight aged 17 and played every game in the 2011-12 season. But after the cancellation of the remainder of the season following the Port Said Stadium riot, European clubs started to circle the hugely promising but raw young talent. Basel, one of Switzerland's most successful clubs in recent years, swooped after one last scouting mission in a friendly they arranged against Egypt's under-23s, in which Salah scored twice. He won the league 2 years in a row, but it was his performances in the Champions League, especially scoring home and away against Chelsea in Group E of the 2013-14 competition, that really caught the eye. Basel beat Chelsea home and away, with Jose Mourinho going on to remark that he fell in love with the then 21-year-old. "I like the way that Salah has adaptability to play right, left or behind the striker. He's fast in the space, fast with the ball, creative, enthusiastic and left-footed." Now that last point mattered, as Mourinho had worked his magic on the similar Iron Robben, and he was seeking to regenerate Chelsea that window, refreshing the squad and bringing in a few younger players who could play a more ball-dominant team, even as the club sold Juan Mata and Kevin De Bruyne. But Salah failed to settle at Chelsea. Despite a couple of goals against Arsenal, in Arsene Wenger's 1000th game, and Stoke in the league, he struggled to make an impact, as well as having to personally lobby to avoid Egyptian military duty in 2014. Despite apparently making a huge impression in training, Salah struggled to replicate his confidence at Cobham in games. While his naturally shy personality was overwhelmed by a strong, characterful dressing room, Salah couldn't make himself loud enough to be heard or picked, and so a move was inevitable. He was first loaned to Fiorentina, with Juan Cuadrado moving the other way. But there was still a sense that Chelsea were monitoring his progress with an eye to bringing him back into the fold, rather than using the loan to tout him to the market. He scored 9 in 26 Serie A games, developing well in the tactically astute environment. Despite Fiorentina wanting to keep him for the agreed loan period, it transpired that Salah could actually decide where to go at the end of the season, and despite a challenge at the Court of Arbitration for Sport lodged by Fiorentina, he left for Roma to start the 2015-16 season. The loan was quickly made permanent, and Salah thrived in Italy again, with 34 goals in 83 appearances for the Giallorossi and a Serie A runners-up spot in his final season. Having impressed in Italy, Salah had caught the attention of Liverpool's famous recruitment apparatus, headed by Michael Edwards, and he became the club's record signing for an initial £36.5 million fee, eclipsing the £35 million spent on Andy Carroll. Both in relative and absolute terms, that now looks like a bargain. Salah has scored 148 goals in 229 appearances in all competitions for Liverpool, lining in alongside Roberto Firmino and Sadio Mane in perhaps the most exciting and recognisable attacking trident in the league. Winning the Champions League, Premier League and the Club World Cup are reason enough to laud Salah. But his open, friendly personality, a tireless work ethic and scintillating skill have made him a club icon. Now a face of Adidas, Pepsi and Vodafone, Salah's commercial pull is as much the result of his likability as his sporting success. And his journey has been remarkable, From grueling 5-hour trips to training in Egypt, to moving to Europe as a young man and overcoming language barriers, shyness and the difficulty of his first big move falling apart, the Egyptian star has shown immense resilience and character. His innate talent has obviously helped, but his ability to forge ahead and shape his career with single-minded determination is also key. In 2022, the Africa Cup of Nations eluded him, despite his talismanic performance. Senegal defeated his Egypt on penalties in Cameroon, leaving Salah as a runner-up for the second time in his career and still without an international winner's medal. But he has footballing greatness already within his grasp, and there remains time for him to end that quarter-of-a-century wait for another African Ballon d'Or winner. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. The Athletic brings you the best sports journalism in the world in a personalised experience, connecting you with the stories and teams that you care about the most. There's coverage of 13 sports, plus direct access to world-class journalists through live Q&As, discussions and podcasts. Not to mention, it's all ad-free. And you can try it now for free for 30 days by clicking the link in the description.